Okay, so it starts with this morning, right? I go outside, feeding the dogs and stuff. I walk to the garden, check on the garden, I come back. The dog is going crazy because I'm looking at the moon. I don't like how my dog is barking at me while I'm looking at the moon. It's weird. It's almost like she's barking at me to tell me to stop looking in the sky. And I'm like, why? And that's how I felt while she was barking at me. That's what I picked up on. I'm like, why? So I start recording the sky, right? Well, I put my camera on it and I didn't press record. As soon as I looked at the moon through the zoom, the moon disappeared and came back. That's what I saw. I ain't got no proof, but that's what I saw. I saw the moon literally disappear and come back into the same spot. Do with that what you want. And just kind of chilling all day, right? Feeling the energies, having a lot of foresight, seeing things that was happening before it was going to happen, and then they started happening. I'm like, it's crazy. So I'm seeing all this shit. I'm feeling compelled to put a post out and say something and this, that, and the third. I'm getting somewhere. I just need you to vibe with me because it's the energies that are coming in, right? So I'm feeling a lack of love and all this, that, and the third. Like I'm feeling it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Heard somebody say something yesterday, particularly that I didn't just, like I said, I always see the bigger picture of the shit. So then I'm watching one of the people I'm subscribed to on YouTube, right? And they're talking. And they're telling a story about some things. And I'm listening and I'm like, I get it. But she's going somewhere in her perspective of whatever that understanding is, right? But the whole time, like, it's like Jenga pieces or like a puzzle. It's just like pieces from all over the place that's starting to come together, right? And I'm starting to see a picture and it's like flashing. It's not completely together yet. It's almost like, can I buy a vowel? Can I buy a symbol? You know what I'm saying? Like, buy pizza at Joe's, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I'm like on Jeopardy or some shit like that, right? So this is the thing. So we're going to go all the way back to part one when I'm talking about the fallen and these particular energies. We got to keep in retrospect that they are stripped of everything, right? They're stripped of everything. They even got this fake ass story where they tell you Semyaja or whatever they call these fucking punk ass angels or whatever, that they came down here for women, trying to give it a better excuse. And that's not even real. They didn't come down for women. You know what I'm saying? Because that would entail that they can go back. So they didn't come down here like angels for women. That did not happen. That's not how it took place. So they need to stop lying. But let's just get into the point. Two parts. Like I said, it's always contrast. It's two parts. It's the actual part, and then it's the part that's being used for whatever people want to use it for. So divine gives a place for the seeds to grow. Divine light to grow into its own source energy to where it can go off into the universe and supply life to other things. You have this whole dynamic that took place. Why we gotta go down there and steward for them? Why we gotta look out for them? Why are they important, right? Divine gave a lot of knowledge to that one particular angel, but he didn't give all the knowledge to it. Because if that angel had all the knowledge, it would be able to create like divine, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? So divine gave a lot of knowledge to that one particular angel, but he didn't give all the knowledge to it. So now this is where a retrospective value comes into play. They are distraught and upset because they're stripped of everything. They're stripped and they fell. Fallen meaning from the height of the level of where they are created at to a beast. So not literally falling down, but if you was to look at it in DNA form, right? That's what the fall was. They was brought from a high-ranking particular type of being to what it would be if they was broken down into nothing. A beast on all fours. This is why they didn't come for women. They were on all fours. And they had to stand back up first so they can stop lying to people about that shit. All right? No semyaza, no we're taking women for ourselves. No, that kind of romanticizes the pain that they actually went through. No, state the facts. Anyway, one thing has nothing to do with the next. Let's stay on task. Divine gives a place for the seeds to grow. That formulated in a mind that was stripped of everything, any awareness, conscious understanding, intelligence of any form. It's stripped of that now, right? It is literally stripped. It's literally stripped of that right now. You know what I'm saying? So, said right now, it's literally stripped of that. It has no knowledge at that point. It has no complete understanding to a value. Like if I say go to the store, you like, all right, I'm gonna take this card. No, take that one. Okay, I got you. I'll take that one. Where are the keys? That's an understanding situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's continuance, but it's an understanding, right? They don't have that. They lack complete understanding in anything. So when knowing that with your question and your deliberation to why and what, and you're questioning divine, you're Satan, you're in Satan energy, you're questioning divine. That questioning retrospect, it led them to feel like to balance out that energy, we would have to create a value to that understanding. So now you have a whole bunch of things. Look at the world today, yours, mine's, the way you do this, how this happens. They're all particularly to the perception or the understanding of your capabilities. Now, that's interesting because the creation, the seed, didn't have certain things that they had to worry about like that. That's like a low level way of thinking. To have to subsidize a value knowing that you are the seed of light. To have to subsidize a value of current. So it's like me showing love expresses a value of what I am, right? Or me being able to have a place, or seeing something of value and then considering that to be mine. These things stand out as a particular retrospect only pointed at a view for someone who sees it as lack thereof. So if there's an entity or a creation that states a value of this is yours, it only has to be said in that retrospect because they see it as lack thereof of their own. So that means they was the one told that this was a place for them, not for you. That's like me saying, if you ask me and you say, how do I grow plants? I would say in the dirt. The dirt is for the seeds. If you're dumb or you lack understanding, you would be like, wow, they get the dirt? Oh, wow, so they can grow in any dirt? Get what I'm saying? And that starts to replicate through the understanding of existence. Wow, they loved you like that? Wow. I want to know what that felt like. Wow, that's yours? I want to know what that is. I want some. Wow, that's what you eating? Can I have some? What it tastes like? Right? So it's those two sides. Now, you would never see it like that. You would never see it as it's a weakness. because that particular energy is propagated now. It becomes a thing. It's a thing. Like, and we were speaking about materialistic value yesterday. So we're talking about the act of having something is the reason to portray a value as greatness. But if divine never gave the immediate things that we have now as the value of greatness, who is perpetrating these understandings as great to have you distracted from what your purpose is? See, it goes back to not being of the world, right? Like, I had this urge just to go out today and just sit in the sun and don't obtain nothing. Just sit there. Strip butt naked if I could and just sit there in the sun and absorb everything. Very far have we fallen from or fell from how the seeds were actually placed here, and how much calamity the fallen ones have caused because they were stripped of their understanding. You know? It's just deep to me to have that as a thought pattern, because it kind of switches the roles a little bit. If the seeds were going to grow and divine knew the seeds were going to grow in a particular way, what does that express to a value of understanding? Because intelligence speaks to knowledge. So if I knew my start was this, but everything that's perplexing to an existence has to do with things obtainable, but everything I needed I had already had because it came with me. What are these other things that are placed in the way that take a benefit for a value? Like love, like communication, like control, like obtaining things, like value. Like, what is that, and why is that important to the understanding of the fact that it was told that we are the creation or the seeds of light? Why would that be more important? The mind of the fallen was stripped. They're dumb as doornails, so they don't know anything anymore. They don't have any universal nothing. It's the reason for paleness and, animalistic value and bestiality and on all scales. Eating raw meat? Are you serious? Here, try this. It's ground meat with a little bit of sauce on top. You'll love it. Fucking serious? The ways of bestiality started becoming tangent or in contingent to the retrospect of that as an existence. So now that is the culture. So that's all you can reach for. Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything. They know this. But you, instead of you wanting to be a young culture being created out of detriment, you could have just waited until everything else got formulated, right? Until everything else got finished, and then recreated the value as your culture grew, right? Which would have gave you more promise. But because you was created from something that was stripped of everything, you raced to take it all and claim. What else was trying to claim shit? What else was questioning the value? What else thought it was entitled? Question the Almighty. And that aspect in itself started spreading around. It actually bothers me because, not for nothing, you have these other aspects that play roles as far as revering value. So if we was to look at things that were created at different times, they wasn't held at a high scale, they were used as the scale was found. So it's like I found a bobow tree, a barbell. How you say it? Bobow tree, the bobow tree in Africa. It's big body. Cut it out, hollow it out, make a boat. I found precious metals, melt them, put them together, make the metal stronger. But it's not like, yo, this is gold. Wow, make some jewelry. Not yet. It was like, how can we make it strong? But to something else, it's like, wow, they got that and it's shiny. Ooh, what can I do? Ooh, 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 ooh. Seeing titties and butt naked bodies, they had to cover up because the beast didn't know. They're like, ooh, why do I feel? Ooh, I want it. Oh, I gotta get next to it. Get where I'm going? All these values that contingent to the understanding of circumstance. The understanding of circumstance created out of something revering something else. Shit is so crazy, yo. So it would actually put us in an energy to say you've been doing a whole bunch in your life for nothing. Even though you now have so many different circumstances that are attached to what it means to be in a physical body, this weakened flesh, right? This flesh that actually bleeds now. It's not wrapped in electrical. It has a small amount of electrical magnetism, but electrical magnetism at its highest value is powerful. It creates force fields. You know what I'm saying? It'll make something bounce off of it. Like, you can't shoot through it if it's at its strongest. You know what I'm saying? You can make it reverse shit. You know what I mean? So imagine that crisscrossed with minerals that create your body. You become dominatic. You have a shiny type skin, you know, that is not easily penetrated. Your conscious awareness is universal at this point because the torus field is so open because of what you're actually able to do in that form. So you had to be brought lower. It's almost like taking the shell off of the seed, but the meat inside is not completely damaged. And that retrospect will be based off the understanding of all the contingencies that we lack. Like, to have someone to love is like being covered. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have food to digest, you know what I'm saying, is being fulfilled. To have something to protect you is the electromagnetism. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have a high level of thought capacity would be in full totality of your divine placement. Like, these are the retrospects that would be imbalanced to the creativity and that understanding. So I can't never give them universal understanding. Even if they was to comprehend the fact that they don't have divine power anymore, you still can't get divine understanding that was given to you because you was an angel. But then you create a culture that thrives off all the failures of what happened to you through your mistake, through your I said mistake. That is not the word to use. Through your disobedience, through your failure of following the Almighty Creator of all things. You've created people based off your failure. So that's the war. The fact that we can obtain, but you know what? Because you don't remember that you're the seed of light. So being the seed of light, now in comparison, you look at something lesser than you and try to chase the only thing that they can have to benefit a value of existence is obtainity. It's all they have to benefit themselves. They can't get divine knowledge. Their predecessors were stripped of it. No matter how they see fit, it's a ceiling that they get. You know, like they say in the Matrix, they said, we're the agents are powerful and strong, they can only go but so far. But you, when you tap into it, you will be able to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that that's even a retrospect, or that I was able to see that within actions and be able to particularly break it down and comprehend that, right? So it's just something deep, yo. It's just something deep to think about. And it goes back to centering oneself. And we believe taking in fruits and vegetables and all that is about your health. No, it's how much the electrical energy is scattered out. Because keep in mind, when the divine beings came, it wasn't no plants here. It didn't need to be. It was just a place for you to grow. That's why some of them grew and left. They didn't have plants and sunlight and meditation. They didn't need it. They were pure divine beings. They were diamonetic. They had diamonetic skin. They didn't need it. As we got brought low, we started needing more things to try to subsidize what was being taken. It's deep. I ain't gonna hold you. Just trying to show you something. Naga the Wise.